Welcome to the NLP View with your host, Donna Blinston. Each week, Donna will explore how the techniques of NLP can help improve your personal and professional life. And now, here's your host, Donna Blinston.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the NLP View radio show. My name is Donna Blinston. On today's show, I am joined by the wonderful Tom Oberbichler to discuss his latest publication, Bad Reviews, How to Make Good Use of Feedback. Neuro Linguistic Programming, NLP, is an applied psychology which looks at the language we use and how we choose to respond to the language. NLP is based on a series of foundational principles which give an explanation to the challenges we face and options as to how we choose to respond. One of my personal favourites is that there is no failure, only feedback. Nothing we do is a failure. We might not have achieved the outcome we anticipated or aimed for, but we achieved something. What we have just achieved is an outcome. From reviewing our results, we can look back at what we did and notice what we could have done differently or how we would do something differently next time. On top of that fact, we have identified areas of learnings that we need in order to grow, areas that we didn't previously know. And we have started to look at what we need to do differently, which inevitably expands upon our own learning sets and learning sets that we need. We only fail ourselves when we do not learn from and respond positively to our experiences. In Tom's book, Bad Reviews, he goes through the processes of experiencing a bad review and what a review is in and of itself. Tom then excellently explains how the perception of a review and the categories that reviews fall into influence our ability to digest and deal with the reviews themselves, taking the positive elements out of the review. Every line we read will read differently a second time. This is because we have changed our perspectives. The second time we read it, whether that changes through further knowledge from ourselves or a lack of understanding, it will tint the view we have and how we perceive what has been written. So I'd like to welcome to the show Tom Oberbichler. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Donna. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome, Tom. More than welcome. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine. What better way to live one's life? I'm here. I'm looking at the sea, the waves rolling in, talking to you. So everything's perfect for me.
Oh, wow. I would love to be looking at a sea view at the moment. Saying that, I have got a magnificent view. I'm looking out across a beautiful mountain range in front of me. It's so, really is pretty. And it changes, you know, every day, depending on the weather. Weather like today, we're quite overcast and grey. It's emphasised different areas of the mountain that I don't normally see. It is lovely. It is. Well, it's great to have you on the show today, Tom. Really is great. And the work that you're doing and of Bad Reviews and looking at writing and sharing your successes and how you've written and how you've enabled yourself to become the writer that you are today. So I guess it's a thank you, and for that matter, a big congratulations on the new book, 'cause it's only just been released.
Yeah, it's out about a couple of months, and I started out with the German edition, which I published in last November, and followed it up this year with the English edition, and this book is very important to me because, you know, one of my principal mottos in life is you go first. And so when I write about something I experienced myself, I've lived through, and I am a writer, I'm an author, and I had it happen to me, you know, that life is in my view of the world, life is a feedback model. You know, you do something like you so brilliantly said in your introduction. You do something, I do something, and I get a feedback. And sometimes the feedback is, yes, this is it. It's wonderful. It's like everybody loves that, but there comes the other part as well, where you do something and you get a feedback, and it doesn't feel good in the first moment, And I wrote this book, Bad Reviews, strictly from an author's perspective, and then again, writing is just one part of life. It's just one form of expressing yourself, or it's a job on the other side as well. So you can take the process and apply it to any field. Still, there's a special thing about this. There's so many people are making use of the new possibilities that are out there for self-publishing authors. So it's really the technical part of writing and publishing has become so easy that many people make use of it. So you start publishing your book, and with the help of Amazon especially and other resources, you start selling actually your book, and you start getting this feedback in the form of reviews. They have a star rating system. 5 stars is perfect, and 1 star is the thing you don't want to have. And so you do, and I experienced it myself. I had my first German book climbing the charts, and it was doing well, and then all of a sudden, one day, there it was, 1 star, and you gotta face the fact that people, not everybody in this world treats other people nicely, because some people they don't feel too well with themselves, and they start to putting it out in their communications with other people, and that's what I got. So there I was, and I had the two things combined: a drop in sales and feeling really bad about what this person wrote about my book. And you kind of identify yourself with the work you do. And so it's a good idea not to take it personally, and that's what I learned for myself, because I took it. It's always the same, I felt hurt, I was angry. I spent quite a time talking with myself about this, and it wasn't in a nice tonality at first. And then I picked myself up and put all these things into perspectives, and that's what I did with myself, and that's what I put into the book. I start out with the moment where you really get this bad reviews, and you can call it whatever you want. It's not a nice thing to happen to you, because I'm all for reframing, in an NLP context, to look at a thing from different angles, and to start to get a positive take on it, even if it doesn't look like it in the first place. But then, let's be honest, if you're selling 10 or 20 books a day, and the next day you sell 1, that's not a good thing, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, I've been there. I know exactly what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it does, I appreciate what you said about it. You do take it as quite a personal attack, because it's your identity, especially when you're writing from your heart, and you're writing for, we all write in a way to serve other people.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's, discredited, it feels like it is a personal attack on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's back to, I think that's where NLP helps, hence, the amazement of your book, of how it's that thing of, people do respond to things how they want to respond, and it's up to us how we choose to respond.
Yes.
And it's that other person who might have read your book and not appreciated it could have been because of whatever's going on in their life.
Yes. What's
happening for them, and that they're responding in the best way that they know how to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being able to dissociate from I guess it's dissociating from that, and choosing how you're going to respond to it, isn't it? And taking the good, what it is that they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess stepping back, where we having a look at what must be happening for that person to respond in the way they have.
Mm-hmm.
And by then looking at it from that angle, we can start to take it away from being an attack on our identity, and that it's actually an attack or a representation of that other person's identity.
Yes, the good thing for me is that part of my training, of my shaping and creating my life and creating the person I want to be, is that whatever happens to me, be it in my writing life or in other parts of life, when I start to get angry, to feel really bad about something, very soon, and nowadays, I'm very happy about that. It only takes me about 2 or 3 minutes. There comes a voice in my head. It's my own voice, actually, and I get this question. Okay, Tom. So how long do you want to feel bad about it? And sometimes there comes another question that's in the way. Could it be possible to feel even worse? And the fun part is, as soon as I have these questions in my mind, that's exactly the step back you were talking about, because I start thinking about myself in the situation, and that's my other than conscious part of my mind taking over in the situation and protecting myself, so I don't get lost, and because I don't mind feeling bad about a bad situation, a bad thing happening, but I just don't want to hang on to it. I want to move on and start slowly, bit by bit, start to feel better. Because, the thing is, we're not here on this world to please everybody. That's an important message I've learned, and I live by that, and I can't repeat it often enough. We're not here to please. You're not here to please everybody. That's not your job. That's nobody's job. It's like if you do anything, whatever you do, if I write a book, it will. I put my heart in it, like you. I do my very best. I have a professional editor. I do produce a quality product. That part I guarantee. And I also know that there are lots of people out there, many people that will like it, that will make good use of it. And there are other people out there, I'm not the right tool for them. I accept that. And in a way, but that's jumping really far. Where I'm right now I'm thankful for the person who wrote this first bad review I got, because I know that because of this review, other people who also would not have liked my book will not buy it. And that's a good thing, because I want my readers to be satisfied when they read the book. And okay, we do write a description of the book where I tell the people in a short take what this book will be about. But still, it helps because people are different, and for some people it's important to have the opinion of other people about a product before they make their decision to buy. So that's why reviews are so important in part of the selling process. And both of them help, Of course, if you have a book out there and you've got one review and that's a bad review, well, that's a bad thing. You have to change that because either your book is really not good, and sometimes those mistakes that you make, and they will give you valuable information. That's a total different kind of. There are so many different types of bad reviews you can get, because sometimes another person has another angle on a certain topic, on a certain situation, and he or she actually aids you in giving you additional information that you didn't have. Okay, then I say, okay, thank you. I take this and I improve my product, my services. That's basically that's like when somebody goes to a shop and you see something. Okay, they've got something wrong here. You tell them that's a bad review you give them, but it's a chance at the same time you give the people to improve their services and their products.
Of course, is that the whole thing around whether it's a constructive critical review, or whether it is just a negative review where someone is almost having a spat about what they like or they don't like.
Yeah.
And critical reviews, they give you that opportunity to enhance and optimize yourself. And it's that whole thing around being able to give constructive criticism, and that's a feedback sandwich. Where you look at one or two things that the other person can do to make it even better, rather than what is not right, because what's not right is in effect is not right in your model of the world.
Yeah.
It's that we all have our own skill sets and our experiences, and it's sometimes, I guess it's a case of when you do something and for you it works. Because it works so well, you become complacent, and you don't look at other ways of doing something, because it's that whole thing again of not reinventing the wheel. You've got something that works, so you think, I'm going to carry on doing what I'm doing. And sometimes being able to notice as an author, when you do get those bad reviews, is it that what they're doing is a different way of doing what you're doing, or is it something completely different that you can learn from? And it's that being able to notice the differences, because you're right. You can't do the right thing for everybody all the time. It's impossible. You can't spread yourself that thin. You can. You are a skill set that will be used by people that need your skill set, and not everybody will need it.
Yeah. And I mean, what really for me was a liberating moment was when I realized that when I write about a topic, whatever it is, be it bad reviews in this example we're talking about, the first thing I do is that I share my view of the world, I share my experiences, I share my knowledge, I share my way to do things with other people. And the first thing that any person, be writing a good review or a bad review, the first thing they share is their view of life. And it's the main, in my world now, when I look at reviews, be it for my own books or for other books, and I do that because I'm working as an writer, as an author's coach as well, so I get to look at reviews quite often. The first thing I realize is that the people, they show something about themselves, because let's be honest. I mean, I myself, I get asked to write reviews now and then, and if I like the book, I do it, because I don't write bad reviews. I think it's bad karma. If I get a book to read and somebody asks me for an opinion, then there are two ways for me to react. If I find something that I don't like, I either let it go, or I write a personal message to the concerned author and tell him, hey, maybe you want, yesterday I saw a book that was translated into German from an American writer, and I had a look at the book description, and I saw that the translation work was not well done. So I said, but that's something I will write a personal message to the author and tell him, hey, maybe you might want to invest in a professional German editor to look at your text. But I won't go out there and crucifying any book for anything that's in there. If I can't find, I mean, that's when I do my workshops as well. When we do feedback rounds, what I ask my participants to do in feedback is, okay, I want feedback, but I want positive feedback only. And I think that's a very nice exercise for yourself, because if you look at every situation or any situation you get in, and you look for what kind of good feedback can I give, that does something to your personality, and I think it improves the quality of your life dramatically. It's a good thing.
It is. It's one thing that I do with nearly all of my clients is I'll work with them and ask them to do feedback on one or two things that they've done that day, each day for a month until I see them again. And I expect at least 30 on calendar month. If I don't get 30, I'll wait and not see them until I do get my 30. And what I'll ask them to do is to, in the feedback cookie form, what they did well that day on a particular event that happened that day. One or two things that they could do even better to make it better next time, and an overall positive result, a positive comment on what happened. And I'll ask them to choose things that didn't possibly go in the way that they ideally thought of. But I'm basically getting them to look at that, being more responsible, being at cause for what's happened in their life. Yeah. Not being the result of somebody else's influence, somebody else's behaviour. Because we can all, there is times in life when you do need to be, I guess, in the emotions of what happens. We're human. We've got to experience emotions. And it's that thing about how long that you said before. Yeah. If something bad happens, yes, you are going to feel such a way because of it happening. But how long you choose to hold on to that and how unresourceful it makes you is the difference that makes a difference. So with my clients, I'll get them to do, I want a positive thing from an event that happened that day. Yeah. Every day. And the transformation it makes themselves, because they start noticing themselves differently. They start looking for, ways that they can make themselves better rather than continuously criticising and downgrading themselves. Which I guess when you have a bad review, as you said at the beginning, you get yourself into that spiral where you've had the bad review, you've got your 1 out of 5, it's affected your book sales, and it's that whole self-fulfilling prophecy. You just run around that negative circle. And the feedback sandwiches, for example, or feedback cookie, as I called it in my book, it gives you a way to break that cycle. To look at things differently, which is how really you've explained your book. In fact, one of the things that really resonated with me that you've written in your book is how that people have more in common than things that they could separate about how they're different, and noticing that we are all in common, we all have imperfections, we all do things differently, noticing those things. Accepting them, if you will, enables us to separate the things that might not work so well. Yeah, that's one thing that did resonate with me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the philosophical part of it, and it helps me. This approach helps me a lot to be successful on an emotional basis in my everyday life and when it comes to writing as well, because that's all. Once you have made the decision to look at the world as a whole from this positive perspective, and like you described the beautiful mountain scenery that you are looking at in Wales, or here in Tenerife, when I see these waves coming in, a beautiful metaphor for persistence for me, the way they keep coming and coming and coming and getting their way. It makes you realize how strong you are, how powerful you are as a human being, and to live this potential. And to me that's a very fundamental and essential part of what NLP has done for me in my life, and what I'm sharing in my books is that the feeling is always inside your body. That's I don't care about the way your mindset about the world, religion, and everything. That's a personal thing, and everything, if it works for you, is fine. But there's a chemical and an electrical process going on in your body. If that makes you feel, you see pictures. People see pictures in their mind, and they are good ones, beautiful pictures, and they feel good. If you have bad pictures, it doesn't feel good. The same with the words, with the voices, the way the self-talk, the way people talk to themselves. I see it on a daily basis in author forums and in coaching sessions that people, they get a bad review and they start talking to themselves badly with a bad tonality for hours and hours and hours again. And sometimes I just ask them, well, look back to your life. And I know that's a little exercise that everybody can do, because everybody had at least one negative experience in their life, whatever it may have been. And my simple question is, did the feeling change at all, ever? And you know that it's true. The feeling changes. Even if something really bad happens, the intensity of the feeling changes. And that means that you change it. And in my world, it's all about taking responsibility and control, because let's be honest, I can't prevent anybody from talking bad about me, be it about my book or be it in my workspace or wherever I am. But a fun thing I did is a kind of an experiment for myself. I had a look at the bestseller rankings in Amazon and looked at a book that maybe many people might have come across, The Secret, Rhonda Byrne. She sold about I think it's more than 20 million copies of her book worldwide. And if you look at her reviews on Amazon, she's got about 180 or 190 one-star reviews, and people are talking trash. It's unbelievable. Well, of course, she also got 300 plus a 5-star review, but that's what it tells you. What this tells me is that my success does not depend on one review. My success depends on whether I love what I do, whether I have the competence to write about the things that I write about, and if I used due diligence in the process of formatting the book, of having it proofread and edited and stuff like that. But a bad review never killed a book. You know, that's simply not true. And the more energy people kept giving to this bad review, the more effect it was creating, because it impacted them in their future production. So the step of just moving on and having it, what we're doing right now is we're looking from different angles at the things, and as soon as you start doing that, your feeling has already changed, whether you want it or not. That's one of the things in the work we do, Donna, isn't it? Once you cross that bridge, you know, you're there. That you can't play the blame game anymore. Once you know that you are making your own feeling.
Completely. I couldn't agree more with you, Tom. I couldn't agree more. And I would love to continue talking about this with you forever, and we'll have to join me again on the show, but I'm conscious our half an hour is nearly up already. Would you be able to share with our audience where they can buy your book from and how they can get in contact with you?
Well, to get the book, the easiest way, I think, is when you go to Amazon.com or AmazonCO.uk, you enter bad reviews, then you get it. And the best way to stay in contact with me and my works and to find the articles that I'm constantly producing is to visit my blog at bewonderfulnow.com, and there you also find links to my bad reviews books and the other ones. And yeah, that's the best way to find me. I'm there putting out information regularly. I also have a rather large knowledge and resources base for authors and writers to the excellent work of other people that is out there.
Wonderful. A huge thank you to you, Tom, for joining us today, and a thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. If you'd like to learn more about NLP, then tune in each week and also visit my website, www.donnablinston.com, where you'll be able to pick up a copy of my best-selling book, Psychobabble, a straightforward, plain English guide to the benefits of NLP. Also visit theorganicview.com and sign up for our newsletter, which will keep you updated with the up-and-coming shows, guests and online workshops. In the next live workshop, we will discuss how NLP can be used to improve your relationships, both personally and professionally, learning NLP techniques that will enable you to see events and problems from multiple perspectives and find out what is really important to you in a relationship. So once again, Tom, a huge thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Donna, and thank you for listening in, everybody out there.
Thank you, Tom. Bye-bye.